What up, dude bros? I'm Frank. This is a video review of the Nerf Rival Nemesis. This blaster by Nerf is in the Rival series, so of course it fires the Rival rounds. This one is hopper fed and flywheel powered and fully automatic with a 100 round capacity. Can you say overpowered? Look at this, look at this. Yeah, GG no re, anybody without a Nemesis. Included is the blaster itself, the instructions, and a whole bunch of Rival balls. It's one mighty ball set. Now I'll go over the externals and the features of the blaster, starting up at the front. Because it's a Rival blaster, not an in-strike blaster, it does not have an attachment point nozzle, so you cannot put on your in-strike barrels and stuff like that. Right above the nozzle are two sling mounts, one on each side. So if you're a right or left-handed user, or you use your sling in a weird way, both will work. This whole blaster is full ambi, because that's tactical. Gotta go ambi, brah. Or if you're just left-handed and you're not a tactical ambi guy, it's a legitimate reason too. Above that is the front sight. This is a folding front sight, so you can push it down when you don't want it. Although you can't push the rear one down, so you might as well just leave it up. And I personally think it looks kind of weird down, like a little miniature bayonet. Just like, oh, just the tip. Whoop, 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 whoop. Behind the front sight is a tack rail up here. This is a Rival rail. I have a standalone video illustrating the difference between this and an in-strike tactical rail, and then up here is the opening to the hopper. Ammo is fed into this blaster with its gravity-fed hopper system. To load ammo into the hopper, you open up the top door and drop in 100 balls. Yeah, 100 round capacity. After your hopper is loaded up, you do have to shut the door, otherwise the blaster has a lock, it won't let you rev. Behind the hopper door is the rear sight. Now this is pretty much a fixed sight for the sake of like using it. It doesn't fold down like the front sight, but it does pivot if you want to remove the hopper, so you can pull up on the rear sight like this, and then pull up on the hopper and it comes out. A lot of the speculation on the Nemesis indicate people want to like carry around hoppers and flip them out like magazines. That's not really the point of this being removable. When you look at the internal system, there's really no place for an access door in the event of a jam. So this is effectively your access door. I did have two jams, which I'll go over in a moment, but that's how you would clear them out. You have to take off the hopper and then you can just get your finger in there and clear it out. Because of how easy it is to reload the hopper with loose ammo, it doesn't really make sense to carry extra hoppers. And reinserting it feels sort of like reloading a P90 in a way. Funny enough, the rear sight is super wide. Compared to the accuracy of the Rival blasters and the Rival ammo, it's kind of weird that it's so vague. I usually complain about not using iron sights, but these are just like totally useless. Down below in here, there's no operational parts. They do have quite a few speed holes cut into the shell here for tactical points and mostly cosmetics, or completely cosmetic, but it is a comfortable front handhold. Right behind that is another sling mount. They have sling mount points all over the place, so you can choose how you want to run your sling. Good job, Hasbro. Because when you have a blaster like the Chaos and you want to run a sling, you can't because there are no sling mounts. Lay bummer. And behind that is the grip area with all of these switches. This is a flywheel blaster, so of course you have to rev the blaster for a moment before pressing the primary trigger, just like any other flywheel blaster, the Strife, the Rapid Strike, the Hyperfire. And this is the primary trigger, which lets you fire the rounds. This is a full auto only blaster, just like the Hyperfire or the Rapid Strike, so when you press the trigger just a little bit, sometimes it doesn't fire. The feeding mechanism is just like the Rival Chaos, where it has a conveyor belt and it's just like shoveling or conveying balls into the flywheels. So if the conveyor belt just moves a little bit and the balls are out of place, it won't actually fire. The Rapid Strike and injection type, like Dart Blaster, full auto blasters, have a small delay compared to like a Strife or something. This has an even bigger delay. It's not like a huge deal, but it is worth noting you don't have that really crisp response time. Right above the primary trigger is a safety. It's on the right and the left side. You gotta go ambi, so for you wrong-handed people. Safety is off. You can rev and fire. When the safety is on, it blocks you from revving. Not sure I'll use it in a Nerf war, like tactically or whatever, but it is nice to hit the safety before you set the blaster down to make sure you don't like accidentally set it down on the rev trigger when you walk away and your blaster slide around, then it's revving all night when you're sleeping. The grip is oversized and in line with the other Rival blasters. The Rival series is guided towards a slightly older market. I'm over 6'3" in height with wicked big hands, and it's a very comfortable blaster. So no complaints, and it's a comfortable ergonomic handle. Above that is the battery tray. This is a battery-powered blaster. It doesn't fire without the batteries. And to get to those, you remove the single screw, then take off the battery door up top and remove the battery tray. It includes the tray to run on 6D style alkaline batteries, but those are really heavy. So I'd recommend the rechargeable pack by Nerf. It's not a third party or an aftermarket thing. Came out with the Chaos, and it is compatible with the Nemesis as well. They're the same battery packs. The rechargeable is not included, but it's slightly lighter and yields slightly better performance, which I'll cover in my firing demo. And behind that is the stock. This is not an adjustable stock. It's fixed, pretty solid. No real comments, but there's another sling mount down here. Yeah, sling mount here, here, and two up there. You can run it however you'd like. All these options, way to go Hasbro. All these tactics, solid. So operating the Nemesis again, you open up the hopper door, you drop in some balls, you have to shut that, turn off your safety, rev, and press the trigger. Pew pew. Quick note, I have two Nemesis blasters. When you see the blue one shooting, it has the rechargeable pack, which is way more fun. The red one has the alkalines. Oh, they all went past you? Oh, that's cool. I take your word for it. I didn't just shoot you like 80 times. So yeah, can you say overpowered as Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. It's super fun to play with. A few notes about firing. The hopper system is not perfect, but when I'm using it in my studio, like on video, it's not really the optimal conditions because I'm just sitting still. How often do you play Nerf when you're shooting 100 rounds full auto without moving at all? If you could see, I had to jiggle the hopper around, and that's because the funnel isn't really perfect. It won't just completely continuously feed from a stationary position. But again, nobody Nerfs like this when you're moving around, pointing at different people, running. It's gonna jostle them all down there, so you should be fine. I don't know if jostle was the right word there. Fondle the balls. More details on the feeding mechanism because it's super fascinating. It is a gravity-fed hopper, so if you like inverted nerfing, like Ender's Game stuff, or you do hardcore parkour, it's not gonna work. If it's feeding and then you suddenly do that and fire, it'll fire off a few rounds because they get trapped in the conveyor area, but then after those few rounds are done, it'll no longer be feeding from the hopper because gravity is required. When you press the trigger, they have these little agitator wheels that just spin and they pop up, and it makes the whole hopper system, especially since the rival ammo is yellow, it looks like a popcorn popping machine. And that's to make sure the balls don't jam on themselves, to make sure everything feeds properly. And like I mentioned, the direct feeding mechanism is a conveyor belt that's just constantly spinning when you press the trigger. So it's not as precise as a semi-automatic injector like a lot of dart blasters, other than the Hyperfire, which works on the same system. I'm not pointing it out as a con or anything. Mostly I'm just mechanically fascinated by it because it's really cool, but it does have a few hiccups occasionally. You just have to kind of shake around the hopper every once in a while to get it to feed smoothly. I did have 2 jams, and I fired this blaster about 10,000 times. Yeah, the jams occurred when 2 balls tried to get in there at the same time. Take turns, bros. You don't double team it. Well, that requires 2 barrel, never mind. But I got one on video. Let's jam out. Different type of jam, whatever. If you practice with it, clearing a jam really isn't that big a deal. You take off the access door, you clear the jam, and then you keep firing. It really is that easy. That's kind of a joke, but this really is the access door. If you need to clear out a jam, that's why this is removable. It even says so in the instruction manual. So firing the blaster is obviously super fun. Now to the chrono data. When I used the alkaline batteries, I got an average of 98 feet per second, and when I used the rechargeable Nerf battery, I got 102 FPS as the average. So right in line with the Rival series, so you should expect the same performance as other Rival blasters. Well, performance is in chrono, but when you have 100 rounds full auto, hopper fed so you can reload super fast, it's not equal. It's going to completely smash everyone. I'm so pumped to use this, man. So to reiterate some pro cons here for your buying decision, it's full auto and Rival, so it shoots really accurately, and full auto, awesome sauce, but the hopper is, in my opinion, the most important component in this blaster. The Rival Chaos holds 40 rounds, and if you have 2 magazines preloaded, you can shoot off 80 rounds really quickly. So it's not like in the moment you're gonna be shooting way faster, but it's the reload rate, which is really important about the hopper. With magazines, you shoot off all your rounds, and you have to dart sweep and hand load all your magazines. All that loading takes a lot of time. With the hopper, you open up your hopper, you dump your balls in, then you keep firing. It's way faster. What does that mean? Way more time pew-pewing and less time loading. Can't think of onomatopoeia. Instead of pew-pewing, like click-clicking, loading. You know what I'm saying. More time doing the fun stuff and less time doing the nah part. So here's a little illustration. Pretend your Nerf war just ended and you're trying to reload. Not replacing an empty mag for a full mag, reloading your magazines. Which will win in the combination of speed and capacity, rapid strike, nemesis, or chaos? On your marks, get set, go. Frank 2 has the lead. Very quick to open up a hopper door instead of taking out a magazine. Frank 3 looks like an idiot loading that Nemesis mag, but at least it's not blowing up on him. Passing 75 rounds, rapid strike's not even done. Freeze, or police. Just kidding. Wow, Frank 3, you suck. Finally. Yeah, you're bad. You should feel bad. Go buy a Nemesis. And as far as war practicality goes, you don't have to carry magazines on your body and your gear. You can just carry loose ammo. So you could just have a dump pouch not full of mags, but full of just rival rounds that you're scooping out and throwing into your hopper. So, super awesome sauce pro list. A few cons though that I want to point out because this blaster isn't for everyone. First, it's expensive. This blaster by itself is really expensive. If you run standard dealkalines, that's going to get expensive because you're going to fly through ammo. So you're going to be killing those batteries. Once they go flat, and you can't recharge them. But then you can also buy the Nerf rechargeable battery, which in my opinion, you should totally do because it's lighter, and that's really the most important thing for me. I don't like carrying around the D batteries, they're heavy. It's lighter weight, it yields slightly better performance, and it's rechargeable, so you don't have to keep buying more batteries. So cost is the biggest one, but also if you're a noob camper scrub and you don't move at all, and you just hide in the corner of the map, that jiggling of the hopper that's required might kind of be a con for you. Also, you're a noob camper scrub and you should feel bad because you're bad. If you're running around moving like you should, it's not a con at all. And if you're a hardcore parkour ninja and you're doing parkour all the time, inverted shooting, you might need a spring-loaded magazine because that'll work in all orientations. This one requires gravity. So, would I recommend this blaster? Abso-freaking-lutely, dude. This is the most fun blaster I've ever used. I'm so pumped to use this in a Nerf war. Super war practical, super fun. The performance is unbelievable. I mean, it's just a blast, and it takes out the grunt work of reloading mags. Along with the blaster, I would highly recommend the rechargeable battery and lots of ammo because it comes with 100 rounds, and 100 rounds is a lot, but you fire that off in less than a minute, so you need like at least 1,000 rounds probably. And yeah, you could totally shoot off 1,000 rounds in one Nerf battle. Just, yeah, that's a thing. But that also gets expensive. Good thing there are third-party alternatives like Headshot Ammo, who's recently released a bunch of new colors, so you can totally shoot a tactical rainbow at somebody and just spew different colors at somebody. Yeah, just spewing different colors all over people's faces. I'm stoked for the future of the Nemesis, but hopefully I've provided everything you need to know whether or not you'd like to purchase one. This blaster is due to launch in fall of 2017, so it's not yet out, but if you have any friends up in Canada, you can ask one of them to ship you one like I did. Thanks very much, Make It Go. You demand. They weren't gifts, I paid for them, but super awesome for him to send me one, so if you have any Canadian friends up there, you can ask him to send you one. I don't know why Hasbro released him up there, like, whatever. It hurts my feeling. And I know people around the world are like, he's an American, he gets blasters first every time. Why is he complaining? I hate this kid. Yeah. We adjust to our reality and it becomes normal. We constantly demand more. It's human nature. That's what makes us awesome and total at the same time. I'm starting to ramble, so I'll end the review right here. I'll put a purchase link in the description when I can find one, and I'll also put a purchase link to the Headshot Ammo so you could save some money because they're cheaper than Nerf rounds and all these color options. That's the review. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, stay tactical. Just the tip. Whoop, 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 whoop. In the face.